Back at Tiger Stadium for the big opener. We've had the conference down at home plate with Larry Rothschild, the manager of the Tampa Bays, and Mr. Larry Parrish representing the Detroit Tigers. And you remember Mr. Rothschild, Al?
I do, yes. He played a couple
60s.
years here in the early 60s. Just a few games, I think 5 in 1 year and 2 in the next. But Larry is very well thought of, the new manager, the first manager of the Devil Rays. And of course, this is an expansion ball club, but I have a hard time calling them an expansion ball club because they signed so many free agents. And basically, this is not a bad ball club. They have some really good veteran players over here, some star players with other teams that are with the Tampa Bay team, and they are a very formidable opponent, really.
And they've gotten off to a good start. They've won 4 games and lost 2. That equals the best record of any expansion team in history. But it is a beautiful day at Tiger Stadium. The folks are still coming in. There's some empty seats, but we understand this is a sellout, and we are certainly looking forward to the action. Now, this is about one of the nicest days we've had in a long time. I remember back the first home opener I did, it was 80 degrees back in 1960. I think that's about the warmest we've had since they started clocking the temperature for us.
And I can remember the game that Frank Larry pitched when it was about 34 and snow flurry.
Yeah.
So we can get such extremes here in Detroit. And we're going to go right into the lineup for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. And pretty good ball club right here. Leading off, Quentin McCracken. Batting second, Miguel Cairo. Batting third, the great Wade Boggs. Batting fourth, Fred McGriff. The fifth batter, Paul Sorrento. Batting sixth, the former Tiger Bubba Trammell. The seventh batter, Dave Martinez from the Chicago White Sox. And batting eighth, former Tiger also, John Flaherty. And batting ninth, the National Leaguer, Kevin Stocker.
Well, the umpire is still waiting for the players to take the field. The umpires today, Rick Reed, will be back at the plate. Well, here's the defensive lineup. Let's look at that, Al.
Okay, here's the defensive alignment for the Tigers. Gonzalez will play left, Brian Hunter in center, and of course tough Bobby Higginson in right field. Joe Randa at third base, Billy Ripken at short, Damian Easley, Tony Clark at first, Casanova behind the plate, and Brian Moehler will be the pitcher for the Tigers. And we talked about Brian earlier. Brian, a fastball slider pitcher and an occasional change up. There was record last year, 11 wins and then 12 losses. But Brian really has to be on the corners, and he must keep the ball down. If he doesn't hit the corners, he has to keep the ball down in the strike zone. Basically, he is a fastball slider pitcher, as I mentioned. He throws an occasional changeup. But what worries me about Brian is his fastball and his slider are the same speed. And as a hitter, the former hitter, that all you had to worry about is location of his pitches, whether it's going to be inside or out, because both of the pitches that he throws probably 85% of the time are the same speed. So then as a hitter, you take all the guesswork out except thinking whether the ball is going to be inside or out. So he has to keep the ball down in the strike zone, Ernie.
While we were checking those umpires, Rick Reed is back at the plate. He's from Rochester, Michigan. Then Tim Cheater will be at first base. Brian Onara will be at second base, and the crew chief, Don Denkinger, is the man at third base. McCracken has had a great start. He is number 2 in the hitting list. He's the leadoff man, and even though he's very fleet, he has already hit into a couple of double plays. But he's a switch hitter, and batting 400 one way and 526 the next.
Not a bad start.
Early going. Pretty good.
Ernie, you can see why they're off to a good start. Their number 1 and number 2 hitter really having a great start. And in fact, McCracken has the honor of being the first player of the week in the American League because of that tremendous start of his.
And these Tampa Bay Devil Rays are leading the league in hitting with a team average of .352. The Tigers in the hitting column are down at number 6. They're hitting .275. Well, here's McCracken to lead it off, and we await the first pitch on opening day 1998 at Tiger Stadium. Opening day sort of like Easter and Christmas and the 4th of July all combined, and a great holiday in the city of Detroit. We're happy we're here, and we're happy you tuned our way. Well, here's McCracken to lead it off.
Usually takes the first pitch. Let's see if he does on this time.
Yes, sir, he does, and it's ruled ball one. And we're underway on opening day. He fouls this one away, and the count even on McCracken at 1-1. The scoreboard told us that the thermometer reading is 53 degrees. Waiting on the 1-1 pitch from Brian Moehler. And he bunts toward third, and Aranda's going to pick it up in foul territory.
Well, that's something that they will not do very much in their own home ballpark because of the AstroTurf. But here at Tiger Stadium, although the field is just in great shape, boy, what a great job they have done. And here's the hitting zone for McCracken. He likes the ball inside. He's hit the ball very well inside. No, he likes the ball outside. I got to get this correct. And they like to pitch him inside.
Well, he's up there now with a 1-2 count in the leadoff spot. Outfield a little bit to left on McCracken. And he takes a wide one. The count even 2-2. McCracken from Wilmington, North Carolina, but makes his home now in Phoenix. He was a defensive back at Duke on the football team, and they played second base for Duke. There's a ball outside on the speech, and the count goes 3-2.
He was a great selection in their expansion draft. He was their second selected. They had to get strong up the middle, and that's exactly what they tried to do.
There's a drive to center, base hit. He starts it off with a single. And the Rays have a man on and nobody down here on the very first time at bat.
Well, that's the history of the Tigers pitching staff, particularly most of them, that they can get 2 strikes on the hitter, but they have a hard time getting the third one past. And of course, having to come in there, they didn't want to walk him, wanted him to hit his way on the base, and he did exactly that. Base hit right up the middle.
Well, here's one of the youngest guys on this team, the rookie Cairo, Miguel Cairo from Venezuela. He pops one foul down the right field side. Here comes Higginson digging, but he can't get there.
Even though they're playing him around the right field, the wind, even though it's blowing towards the foul line in left field, the ball curving away from Bobby Higginson. He gave a great effort, but no way he could catch up to it. Cairo, unlike McCracken, will swing at most pitches that's thrown to him. He's not a very patient hitter, whereas McCracken will take a pitch. He goes up there hacking at it, and he's having a pretty good start, batting over 400.
We're talking about his young age at 23, but he's been in organized ball since the age of 16, so he's got some experience, though not any in the big leagues.
And he was drafted from the Cubs organization.
Yep, the Dodgers signed him first, and he wandered around a little bit. That's McCracken trying to get a lead. Cairo fouls this one away back into the upper deck, and it bounces down into the bullpen.
See, he likes the ball in, and they're going to try to pitch him away. If they get ahead, they want to throw him a lot of breaking balls. They may brush him back, maybe push him off the plate a little bit, and then throw something off speed. But Brian doesn't throw a lot of slow pitches, so the pitch that he probably will throw in will be a slider away.
Man on, nobody out, first inning, no score, just underway. And there's another foul. This one will be upstairs, and a man from Dearborn will take that one.
All right, Dearborn.
He gets the first one of the year.
Yes, sir.
The Tigers' first opening day back in 1901, they didn't start until April the 19th. A little bit later than this start. In fact, the season this year, you remember, opened March 31 in St. Petersburg.
It's been a few years. I wish they would have opened up on the 19th.
Yeah.
It can get cold here. This is a great opening day.
There's a foul out of play, and the count is still strike 2 on Cairo.
Brian actually has gotten away with a couple of pitches there. That ball was up and in the middle of the strike zone, trying to get on that outside corner or just off the plate to make him try to fish for something, maybe not a strike.
Down in St. Pete, remember the Rays beat the Tigers 2 out of 3. Tigers won the first, lost the next 2 to them. McCracken on first, Cairo at bat. It's a ball. Close, but he missed that outside corner. The count even 2-2.
Really taking a couple of close pitches. Unlike him, usually anything close he will swing at. So Brian now is getting to the point where he has to come in there. You see the ball just out of the strike zone, almost went for it, was able to hold his swing up.
There's a pop-up. Foul. It may be out of play over near the dugout. Tony Clark coming, but he runs out of room. Well, Al Kaline, they had a nice ceremony here after the governor and the mayor took part. Then we had a couple of your pals, Bill Freehand catching and Mickey Lolich on the mound. That was a good one, wasn't it?
It doesn't seem like 30 years ago. 68 ball club and Mickey throwing to Bill Freehand. And brings back a lot of great memories. And very exciting, very great ball club.
After that pitch, they recreated the final out when Freehand and Mickey jumped on each other. Run to go, swing and a miss. Throw to second. He is safe. It's a steal, but out at the plate on the strikeout. Man on second, 1 man down.
It looked like Damian Easley might have been a little bit late getting there. This is a pretty good play on a tough pitch. Ball out over the plate. You see he gets there just in time, and the ball and the base runner got there at the same time. I think he would have been out had he been able to hold on to the ball. Take a look at it again. This is a tough play for the catcher. In the dirt. He gets the ball. He makes the tag, and then all of a sudden the ball drops out. So I think Damian might have been a little bit late getting there.
Well, that's McCracken with a steal at second for Wade Boggs, hitting .240. Hit a home run. He hit it against the Tigers down there in St. Pete. 5 RBIs for the hitting machine.
He really has the Tigers confused because it generally hits the ball to left field. But down in his stadium at Tropicana Field, he was pulling a lot of pitches, which is very unlike Boggs.
Wade will be 40 years old this summer. His birthday's on the 15th of July.
Well, here's a hitting. They're going to try to stay away from him. He likes the ball in. They were pitching him away, and he likes the ball inside. So let's see if they try to keep the ball away from Boggs. But he is such a good hitter. He makes a lot of adjustments.
That one is on the outside corner for a strike.
I know Wade pretty well. I played in his golf tournament, charity golf tournament, several times, and I asked him, Wade, if you were a pitcher, how would you pitch yourself? He said, I throw myself a lot of breaking balls, a lot of slow curveballs. He says he reacts to the fastball and has to think on the curveball where to put it.
3-1 the count on him. 5-time American League batting champion. Last year he hit .292 with the Yankees. That's only the second time he's been under the 300 mark.
And of course, he's pushing that 3,000 hit.
Yeah, he wants to join you and all the other greats in that very exclusive club.
We have our first beach ball. And we have some people up there with no shirts on in center field. It's not that warm, but it's not bad. There they are. Getting a few rays. They could probably get a little, sun today because they're not really feeling the wind up in center field.
No score opening inning. Man at second. One man out. And Boggs taking a walk. The pitch low. That'll put 2 on for the Rays. A single and a walk, and a real tough hitter coming up, Fred McGriff.
Well, Brian's getting himself in a lot of trouble. He cannot walk people. The hitters are going to get enough hits, but he can't keep putting men on base, particularly with these veteran hitters like a Fred McGriff coming up. Fred has been a quality hitter for a lot of years, and of course he loves hitting in this ballpark with the short right field fence.
Yeah, he's had a hit in every game so far, all 6 of them, and 2 3-hit games so far. Infield in double play depth on McGriff. And it's on the corner for a strike. Well, he's a Tampa product playing for the Tampa Bays. McGriff's family home is only 4 blocks from old Al Lopez Field. There's the jammed him, and the count evens 1-1. Fred used to be a vendor at the football games. That's one way to get in shape, going up and down those stadium steps.
You bet. He wanted to go to a contending ball club, but he said the second best thing was being able to play right at home.
Oh, he changed up on him a little bit that time.
Well,
what you were talking about earlier.
I think this is what you have to do. Brian he cannot throw the same pitch too many times in a row. He's thrown 3 different pitches now to McGriff. He threw him a fastball, a slider, now a straight changeup, and this is something that Brian has to do. He has to use all of his pitches. He can't rely on one pitch, and but when you're behind in the count, you have to go with the pitch you can throw to strike the most.
1-2 delivery now, and he taps it foul. McGriff has been a star in each league. In fact, he has led each one of the leagues in home runs, and only one other guy has done that in modern baseball, and that was the great Tiger Sam Crawford. Sam played at Cincinnati and led the league in 1901 with 16 home runs, and he led the American League with 7 home runs. By foul, hit out of play down toward the bullpen. It was interesting, Al, when McGriff and Cecil Fielder were in the Blue Jays system. They came along together. Then the Blue Jays had to make a choice, and they picked McGriff, and that's what sent Cecil to Japan.
Right. It really was a great break for Cecil to be able to go over Japan and get some playing time in, rather than sit on the bench and not get any at bats. He went over there, was a great player. I think he's in their Hall of Fame over in Japan, and of course came to Detroit and had some great years here.
No score opening inning. McGriff at bat, 2 men on and 1 man out for the Tampa Bay Rays. 1-2 pitch, and he jammed him. He fouled it in the dirt.
Well, good sequence of pitching by Brian, going in and out, not going any one place. I think had he gotten that ball down just a little bit further, he would have had McGriff, but he's made several really good pitches on McGriff in a row.
Mullet trying to get out of this early jam on opening day. Now Moehler looks in to get his sign, ready to go again. And he's just off the corner, 2-2.
Well, here's this 2-strike situation I talked about again. Most of our pitchers, Justin Thompson, he's able to put the guys away, but the other guys, they get 2 strikes and just not able to make that pitch with 2 strikes. And here we go again, 2-2. This is a very key pitch right here for Brian and the Tigers.
Game scoreless, 2 men on, 1 man down. And he is wide. That'll move it to 3-2.
Well, we got some more beach balls out there, a couple of it. Hey, they got little cheap guys out there now. We got a couple small ones. That was a balloon.
With 3-2 now, Al, and 1 out, and McGriff up. You think they'll let the runners go here or not?
Well, Fred strikes out a lot, and of course you have Sorrento coming up, who is a good hitter, but you know it's really hard to get a key on Rothschild because I haven't been around him very much. But you have great speed on the bases. Both the guys on the bases can steal bases. Well,
we'll see. They give a look, and McCracken wanders back to second base. He's the lead runner. 3-2 count on McGriff. They go. Ground ball hit the first. Tony Clark will make the play, and the hit and run moves them up to second and third with 2 down. That'll bring to bat Sorrento.
Well, see, that was what I was talking about. He makes that same pitch with less than 3-2. That's a double play, but you get a count. You get the runners going. That would have been a double play because Fred doesn't run that well, and now we have men on second and third base.
And we got a pretty good power hit up there in Sorrento, a fella that doesn't have a lot of bats, but he, on a percentage basis, gets a lot of home runs.
He's always been a pretty good RBI man. He doesn't hit for much of an average, but he generally can drive in a lot of runs. I'm sure the conversation right now, you don't like to walk anybody early in a ball game. Here comes Rick Adair, the pitching coach. You don't usually like to walk anybody early in a game because all of a sudden they can blow you out in the first inning. But probably what they're going to say now, you have a right-handed batter coming up next, so you really don't have to challenge him. But boy, I hate to see him walk anybody bases loaded in this situation.
Yeah. Well, there's a pitch count, Al.
Yeah, 28 pitches, 12 balls and 16 strikes. Not a very good ratio. And that can only get you in a lot of trouble when you're playing a small ballpark like Tiger Stadium.
Sorrento looking, and the first one down and away, ball 1. Here's a fella started with the Angels. See his average, 238 with no home runs and 2 RBIs. Then with the Twins and the Indians and Seattle, and finally to Tampa as a free agent. They're pitching him outside, and so far not giving him anything to hit. 2-0.
Well, Sorrento's really in the driver's seat right now. He's way ahead of the count. He can be looking for a ball that he wants, and he's a pull hitter. He should be looking for a ball on the inner part of the plate.
That one's a little closer, but it's still outside the ball. 3-0 the count on him.
I don't think they're going to fool with him right now. I think they may just put him on. Casanova looking over at the bench, but no, they're going to throw him one more pitch. And I would think it's going to be the same thing, a ball just missing the outside corner.
That's right, and it is ball 4 to load him. So there's been a single and 2 walks. The bases are loaded for the ex-Tiger himself, Bubba Trammell.
Boy, you don't think he would like to do something big here against his former team? Bubba always has a good bat. A power hitter in the minor leagues. He had trouble when he was up here last year with the Tiger briefly, but he's had 6 at bats, 3 hits, and 1 home run.
Well, they can play the ground ball at any base in this situation. And he looks at a strike that nipped the outside corner. 1 strike on Bubba.
Bubba, good fastball hitter. They will try to feature him a lot of breaking balls, push him off the plate, and then he's particularly poor on changeups.
He takes the ball. Good stop by Casanova, and the count on Trammell 1-1.
Well, here's a good job by Cassie behind the plate, and you really have to be on your toes when Brian's pitching. He will throw a lot of sliders, particularly sliders down in the dirt, trying to emphasize keeping the ball down. He knows he has to do that to be successful.
3 men on, 2 men out, no score, first inning. 1-1 pitch. Hit high and foul. Back toward the right field seats. Tony Clark giving chase, but he watches it drift into the seats.
Well, Tony's played here enough. He knows the ball will always go back towards the playing field. So you can't give up on the ball that's in the seats, because that wind can do a lot of tricks here at Tiger Stadium and will eventually bring the ball back towards the playing field.
What about opening on the road and then coming home for the opener? Is it better for a player that way? Do you get out of all the distractions on the road and then come home?
I think for a veteran ball club it really doesn't matter. But I think for a young ball club it's best to open up on the road. I think they get over the jitters some and get a chance to get some at bats in the big leagues. Spring training is a happy time. Everybody's having a good time down there. But once the season starts, it's different.
Swing and a miss, and the Tigers get out of trouble. At the end of a half inning, it is Tampa Bay nothing, and the Tigers are coming to bat.
Okay, we're going to get right into the Tiger batting lineup, and hopefully they'll put up some scores here early in the ball game. Here's the batting lineup for the Tigers. Leading off, of course, Brian Hunter. Batting second is Bip Roberts. The third batter is Bobby Higginson. Batting fourth, Tony Clark. Batting fifth, Luis Gonzalez. The sixth batter, Damon Easley. The new guys at third base. Batting seventh, Joe Randa. The eighth batter, Real Casanova. Batting ninth, Billy Ripken. And they'll be facing Rolando Arrojo, the nasty right-hander. Defensively for Tampa Bay, Trammell, McCracken, and Martinez. In the outfield, Boggs, Stocker, Cahill, McGriff at first base, John Flaherty behind the plate, and Arrojo is on the mound. Nasty right-handed, and he is tough on right-handed hitters. And
he gets that first strike over on Brian Hunter. He beat the Tigers, as you see there, the second game they played down there in St. Pete. Here's a pitch low. Brian showing bunt but not offering, and the count 1-1. Now he goes sidearm and gets it down and away, 2-1.
Arrojo, he deflected from Cuba, July 9th, 1996. He was one of the great pitchers of all time over in Cuba. He was 5-6 last year for St. Pete and A-ball team.
Little tapper, he's going to pick it up and throw to first. Not in time. A wide throw. Hunter scampers back. He's safe at first.
Well, that's what we need. We need to get excitement, put the ball in play, make the team throw the ball around a little bit. This is not a great defensive ball club. Here's a bounder that bounds right down the line. Arrojo comes in, hustles, slips a little bit, and throws the ball away from Fred McGriff. Great speed will do this. This is what we have to have with Brian. Get on base, cause a lot of excitement. Brian has 6 stolen bases already this year.
Well, here's Biff Roberts with a .304 batting average.
We have not received whether that's a base hit or not. I think I have to give him a base hit.
I think so too.
That's awful tough play.
I could see it go either way, but I'd be in favor of a hit on that with his speed.
Makes the guy rush more than he would have to.
And the scoreboard goes up with a hit.
All right, you're right again, Mr. Harwell.
Leadoff single by Brian. He's always a threat to go. The Major League's leading stealer last year.
Usually someone who throws 3/4 out of the side, you can get a very good jump on.
There's a fly ball to left, slicing. On the run is Bubba Trammell, and he makes a catch in the left field corner. He flagged that one down on the run.
Good running play by Bubba. Not noted to be a very good defensive player, but he had a good beat on that and makes a good running catch. This ball is tailing away from him down the line. Of course, he was playing shading Roberts over the left field line.
Now up to Bobby Higginson, who's off to a good start with the bat, with at the 400 batting mark.
We got to get Tony and Bobby driving in some runs. He's only has 1 run batted in so far this year.
No score opening inning. Tigers with a man on. Arrojo deals over to first base.
Nice quick move to first base. You can tell this guy has played a lot of baseball in Cuba. He does everything pretty well on the mound.
Pitch in too close. After he defected from Cuba, he lived in Costa Rica for 9 months without his family, and he had a tryout there with 19 big league teams coming in to look him over, and the Rays were the ones that won him.
Well, the Marlins in Tampa Bay pretty much have a hold on those players coming out of Cuba, it seems.
Yeah, that's right. They've established that early. There's a tap towards second. Cairo over to the shortstop Stocker. They get the force out on the Hunter, and that makes 2 down with a man on.
Really surprised that Brian was not running in that sequence there. John Flaherty is a great defensive catcher, but gets rid of the ball quickly, but doesn't have an overly strong arm. But Brian must not have felt he could get a good jump off the pitcher.
Now Tony Clark has a shot with a man on and 2 down in the scoreless first inning. And he backed him off. Tony not getting unshackled here as yet with a .240 average, no home runs. Drives one to left, base hit. Higgy headed for third. Here's a throw by Trammell, cut off by Stocker. Runners at first and third. Well, this means now that each team threatens in the first inning.
Yeah. Let's see who can capitalize on this first inning. Tony going with that sinking fastball, that ball running away from him. Bobby Higginson knows Bubba Trammell in left field and goes all the way, doesn't hesitate, goes all the way to third base.
Two down, runners at the corners for Detroit. No score first inning, and Luis Gonzalez, the left fielder, will be the batter. Gonzo off to a good start with a .450 mark. Another Tampa product.
He's had some good athletes come out of Tampa.
They sure have. He takes a cut at the first one offered by Senor Arrojo.
Gonzo had the honor of hitting the first home run in Tampa Bay for the Tigers in the opening game there.
Strike one the count. A big hook in too close. Well, Al, when Arrojo pitched for the national Cuban team, he made $11 a month. He's doing a little bit better than that
I
now.
think he's doing just a little bit, Ernie. You know, you're not a lot, but just a little bit.
1-1 delivery. Fly ball to left. Here comes Bubba Trammell. He puts it away, and the Tigers come up empty. At the end of one, the game is scoreless.